Good evening, everybody. Today, I want to explain about diborane since someone has asked for it, and this will be definitely followed by zeolite as they've asked. So, to start with, we'll start with the element boron. Boron is a tough element. Normally, I say it is just like me, and it is produced by cosmic rays spallation and supernova. As you all know, the supernova is a big bang explosion which occurred. So this boron is produced when the big bang explosion occurred, and it is not by stellar nucleosynthesis. That is how hydrogen and helium are produced. No, it is not by that way. So diborane, before moving on to the structure, we'll just talk about a little bit about boranes. Boranes normally of two types. It is either neutral or ionic. So if you want to know the different types of boranes, there are three types. One is with the closed framework, which we called as closoboranes, and which will look like a bird's nest, that we call nidoboranes, and which will look like a spider webs, that will be arachnoboranes. So if you want to remember it better, closed framework everybody can remember, so part of it closoboranes. But when it comes to nidoboranes or nidoboranes, whatever you pronounce like, Noida, you just remember the name near Delhi. So the Noida, this NIDO, okay, that is a nidoboranes which will look like a bird's nest. And Archana, abdinda, you just remember like Archano. So arachnoboranes, that is a third type of arachnoboranes which will look like a spider web. So there are three types of boranes. One is closoboranes, then another one is nidoboranes, then the arachnoboranes. So if you want to remember in your own way, of course you can remember it in any way, but this is the way I normally associate with. So the closed framework, I remember that's closo, everybody can remember it. And Noida, the name, there I just remember O can be removed and we can remember this as nidoboranes or nidoboranes. And then Archana can be written as Archano, and little rearrangement with the words, we get arachnoboranes. So these are the three types of boranes. Nowadays, no, it's not, a very good method to start with preparation, properties and uses. Because normally students will ask us, ma'am, why should I know about it? Why should I study about it? So it's better to start with uses. That's what the recent research work also says, it seems. So it's always introduce the users first and show them the importance of this boranes. And then we can just talk about it. So the uses of diboranes, normally it is used in rocket propellants, then it is used as a reducing agent, and it used in rubber vulcanization, and it is used as a catalyst for hydrocarbon polymerization. I have used the word HC. It is not high court, it is hydrocarbons. Therefore, catalyst for hydrocarbon polymerization, and also as a doping agent. So apart from this, what we can attract the students by saying is, it is used in electronics. You all know, without electronics, nothing can be done today. Therefore, it is also used in electronics to impart electrical properties in pure crystals. So these are the very important uses of diboranes. So it's better to know more about it. What I enjoyed more about diborane is the banana bonding. So if you want to inculcate interest in the learning, you can ask them a small riddle like this. It is my work and you can just do in whatever way you want. So what can be enjoyed at diborane? I can be split, but not a check-in restaurant. I get peeled, but not a potato. I grow on trees, but not an orange. I am yellow, but not a lemon. I am curved, but not a boomerang. Can you guess? Definitely they will answer it. It's a very small riddle I have written. So they will say banana. So the banana bonding makes diborane more interesting. That's all I can just look at it. So we'll move on to structure of diborane. Any structure for that matter, we normally do it by the electron diffraction studies. So that's what we do it here also. So by electron diffraction studies, we just say these are all the points so that we can understand it better. So if we look at the diagram, there are two borons which is attached to 4 hydrogen at corners. They are called terminal hydrogen bonds. and I have used the dotted lines and the wedge, and you all know one is moving towards the observer and one is moving away from the observer. All these things we have already introduced in their previous class, so they will definitely understand it better. If not, we can explain it once again. Therefore, there are 4 terminal hydrogens which are there attached to 2 boron atoms. So each boron is attached to 2 each. So totally there are 4 hydrogen which are terminal hydrogen attached to boron. Then the formula you all know, it is B2H6. So it can't be written as BH3, it is written as B2H6. That's why it is called diboranes. So it is B2H6. There are 6 hydrogen atoms. But I am mentioning only about 4 here. That is 4 terminal hydrogen, each boron taking 2 each. Therefore, there are 4 hydrogen, that is boron hydrogen, which are going to be terminal. All these 4 terminal hydrogen lie in the same plane. So when they lie in the same plane, we say it is coplanar. So it is coplanar. The bond length of this terminal hydrogen is 119 picometer. And therefore, when you consider the other 2 hydrogen which are left out, they are boron hydrogen boron, that is bridged hydrogen. So there are 2 types of hydrogen here. 4 hydrogens are terminal hydrogen with a bond length of 119 picometer. Another 2, this is a bridge hydrogen, that is one is lying above the plane and the other one is below the plane. Therefore, it is almost a perpendicular. Okay, it is almost perpendicular to the plane of a molecule. And the bond length of this bridge hydrogen is 131 picometer. So these are all the things what we get from the diffraction studies. Therefore, there are 2 types of hydrogen. One is a terminal hydrogen with a bond length of 119 picometer, and another one is a bridge hydrogen with a bond length of 131 picometer. And terminal hydrogens are coplanar because all of them lie in the same plane as the boron, and 2 of them are lying above and below the plane, almost perpendicular to the plane of a molecule. So the terminal hydrogen atoms, when you take separately now, more or less they are going to explain the same, some additional points. Terminal hydrogen atoms. There are 4 boron hydrogen atoms which are considered as terminal hydrogen. Basically, they are electron deficient bonding. You all know what is the meaning of it, because if it is less than 8 even after the formation of a bond, then we call this as a electron deficient bonding, and therefore here it is electron deficient bonding, and the bond length, as I mentioned already, it is 119 picometer. Any covalent bond, I think it's better to introduce this earlier in the chemical bonding chapter itself. Whenever you talk about the formation of a covalent bond, tell the children that it is always 2 center 2 electron bonding, because a covalent bond is normally formed between the 2 atoms, and a bond is formed by the sharing of the, when it is going to be a non-polar, for example, it is each atom contribute 1 electron towards bonding. Therefore, there are totally 2 electrons involved in bonding. Therefore, it is 2 center 2 atoms. Any covalent bond will be 2 center 2 electron type. Therefore, you mention it whenever you mention about a covalent bond. That's what happens here also. 2 center 2 electron bonding, and it is going to be electron deficient. And in the in the case of a covalent bond, the electrons will take its place permanently there. It will not move around. Therefore, it is localized. The electrons are localized. And absolutely there is no violation of any fundamental chemistry rules here. There are hydrogen which are present in the terminal with the expected bond length. Why I am saying there is no violation of the fundamental chemistry is the reason I have given here. The expected bond length is in the ratio of 118 to 120 picometer. What we get is 119. Therefore, absolutely there is no violation of rules here. Next, when you come to bridged hydrogen atoms, there are 2 bridged hydrogen atoms here, and the bond length, as I mentioned, it is 131 picometer. Then you can ask me the next question, or we can ask ourselves the next question, why it has a larger value? Do you know the reason? This is because the less number of electrons rotating in more centers. In the previous case, 2 center 2 electron, but here there are going to be 3 center and only 2 electrons. Therefore, the less number of electrons rotating in more centers. Therefore, boron, hydrogen boron, which is again electron deficient, and the 3 atoms here, boron, hydrogen, boron, 2 boron and 1 hydrogen, 3 centers, and totally there will be 2 electrons that I will tell you when I just explain about the electronic configuration. Therefore, it forms a banana type of bonding. Banana shaped it forms a bonding. Therefore, it is a banana bonding or bent bonding. But normally we mention this as bent bonding more than banana. But banana diborane, if you introduce with banana, I think it is better to go by that to get the attraction of the learners. Therefore, it is a 3-center 2-electron bonding, electron deficient with the banana type of bonding where the less number of electrons rotating in more centers. Is that clear? So next we have to explain this with respect to electronic configuration. You all know boron in the ground state. Normally students ask me, what is a ground state configuration? And if you say in terms of energy, it is not accepting any energy, it is in the ground state without any energy absorption, all these things may confuse them. So I'll normally say, looking at the atomic number, when you write the configuration, that is a ground state configuration. So if you want, you can go by that way. So the ground state configuration, boron atomic number is 5. Based on this, following Aufbau's principle, I write this as 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. And the same I have just represented with the 1 box and 3 boxes for the valence shell. Therefore, 2s2 with 2 electrons with opposite spins, and 2px1 alone is there, 2py and 2pz with no electron. Then it goes to the excited state by absorbing energy because it has to undergo bonding. Therefore, it goes to the excited state, and one of the s electron, 2s electron, will be transferred to p. As a result, we get 1s2, 2s1, 2s1 and 2p2. Therefore, the 2 boxes out of 3 will be filled here. Next, bonding can occur in the hybridized state. That is again, it has to be discussed. Here, hybridized state. So the hybridized state here is actually considering all the 3 orbitals. Normally, looking at the number of atoms which undergo bonding, we'll say that many orbitals undergo hybridization. But remember here, even one vacant orbital you have to introduce along with the other 3. So normally, looking at the bonding, how many atoms are involved in bonding, that many orbitals we take for hybridization. Even hybridized state itself is hypothetical. It needs a lot of proof for the existence, but we take it for granted for the time being that it takes place. Therefore, the hybridized state, we have 1s and 3p. Out of this, 1s and 2p are filled, but 2pz is not filled. Therefore, I have written 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz0. If you want, you can add that 0 there. But all the 4 orbitals undergo hybridization, including the vacant 2pz orbital. That is a very, very important thing you have to make a note. Therefore, there are 4 orbitals here. 1 s orbital, 3 p orbitals undergo hybridization. Therefore, the number of hybridized orbital will be equal to the number of orbitals which undergo hybridization. Considering that fact, we have 4 sp3 hybridized orbital, including the vacant p orbital. That has to be got registered in your mind. Therefore, when you look at the structure, the banana type, I have done my level best to draw that. I don't know how far you can understand, but still the explanation I can make it clear. Therefore, here when you consider the 2 boron which I have considered, there are 4 sp3 hybridized orbital. If you look at the diagram, I have drawn 3 with one color and the 4th one with a different color. So 3 I have used brown and the 4th one I have just drawn orange. And similarly for the other boron, I have drawn 3 with brown and 1 with orange. Therefore, when you consider that way, the orange is the empty orbital. So all the other 3 sp3 hybridized orbital of boron will have 1 electron each. Now it is ready to form a bonding with hydrogen. And as I told you already, there are 2 types of bonding which occur, terminal and bridged. Therefore, the 4 hydrogen atoms forms a normal sigma bond with the filled orbital of sp3. Therefore, here sp3 orbitals of boron, 3 is filled with 1 electron. Therefore, it forms a bond with 1s orbital of this hydrogen. Thereby, it forms a sigma bond. And similarly, the other 3 sp3 hybridized orbital of boron, again 2 of this will form this filled orbital with 1 electron, forms a bond with 1s orbital of hydrogen, which is also with 1 electron, and forms a normal sigma bond, 2 center 2 electron bond. Absolutely, there is no problem with terminal hydrogen. But look at the hydrogen atoms here, which is bridged. So if we consider the bridged hydrogen atom, out of this, 4 will be with the terminal, which I have explained. Now the 2 more here, if you look at it, it forms a banana type of bonding. How? The filled sp3 hybridized orbital of boron with empty sp3 hybridized orbital of other boron, and the 1 electron of this 1s electron of this hydrogen, the 3 of them join together to form a bond here. That is a banana type of bonding. Since it is not a normal covalent bond and the less number of electron rotating in more than 2 centers, it is not a normal covalent bond. The electron tends to rotate around a molecule within an area. So within a stipulated area, forming a banana bond. Therefore, I repeat it once again. The 2 boron atoms are involved along with the 2 hydrogen atoms, each having 1 each. Therefore, in the first bridged hydrogen, it is a filled sp3 hybridized orbital of 1 boron with a vacant sp3 hybridized orbital of the other boron, and 1s orbital of hydrogen with 1 electron forms a bond. Therefore, it is like a banana type bonding which is formed here. One is above and the other one is below the flame. The same explanation for the other banana bonding which is down. Therefore, that's what I have written it here. The 4 terminal boron hydrogen bonds, sp3 of boron with 1s orbital of hydrogen each, 2 bridged hydrogen atoms, 1 sp3 of 1 boron with 1 electron plus 1s of hydrogen with 1 electron plus 1 sp3 of another boron which is vacant. That's the way the banana bonding is formed above and below the plane. If you look at this banana bonding, it involves 2 boron atoms and 1 hydrogen atom. Therefore, there are totally 3 centers which are involved here, 3 atoms which are involved here. Therefore, it is 3 center. Out of 3 atoms, only 2 are filled. That is 1s orbital of hydrogen and 1 of the boron sp3 hybridized orbital. Therefore, it is only totally 2 electrons are available for 3 atoms. Therefore, it is 3 center, 2 electron. That's what I have written it here. So, to consolidate everything, you need to understand there are 6 hydrogen atoms in boron. The formula is B2H6. 4 hydrogen atoms which are terminal, which is actually forming a normal sigma bond with the sp3 boron orbital with 1s electron of hydrogen. And it is a normal covalent bond, and therefore it is actually, look at it, it is 2 atom, 2 electron bond. Then if you consider the bridged atom, there are actually 1 sp3 hybridized orbital of boron with 1 electron and 1s orbital of hydrogen with 1 electron and 1 sp3 of another boron which is vacant, joined together to form a banana bond above and below the plane, which comes under this bridged type. Okay, therefore there are 3 atoms which are involved here with 2 electrons. Therefore it is 3 atoms, 2 electron. It is just a consolidation of whatever I said before. If you look at this, the bond strength is inversely related to bond length. We all know by this. I have already given the bond length of the terminal hydrogen to be 119 and bridged hydrogen to be 131. So we can easily say the bond strength of terminal hydrogen is more than that of or stronger than that of the bridged hydrogen. Therefore, it is the reason is 119, which is smaller than 131. Therefore, bond strength is more for terminal hydrogen compared to bridged hydrogen. Sometimes after explaining all this, students will definitely ask us, ma'am, why it forms a banana bonding? So, you need not explain once again from the beginning. They would have taken down the notes already. So, what we need to do is, due to the electron deficiency of boron, to attain stable octet configuration by itself, it forms banana shape bonding. You just conclude it saying by this. Don't go again, start from the beginning to explain. just you mentioned this, due to electron deficiency of boron, to attain stable octet configuration by itself, it forms banana shape bonding. So other examples they may ask in the competitive examination related to it, why it is not forming B2Cl6 or B2F6, and you can say because the size of hydrogen is very small, therefore it can easily fit into this boron, whereas Cl or F will be larger than hydrogen, therefore the accommodation is not possible. Another one, they get stabilized by back bonding. BF3 or BCl3, they get stabilized by back bonding because there will be 3 orbital, one is vacant. That vacant boron sp3 hybridized orbital can get one lone pair of electrons which is there in F. Therefore, by back bonding itself, they get stabilized. Therefore, they need not form the dimer. Therefore, you can explain based on that. By back bonding, they get stabilized. B2Cl6 and B2F6 are not formed. Okay, the reason is the size. The other one, by back bonding, they get stabilized. Whereas in the case of Al2Cl6, it is not by banana bonding, it is not by back bonding, it is only by dative bonding. That is a coordinate bond. And the reason also you can say here, and the reason is only by making dative bonding, they get stabilized because the energy released will be high in the dimer state, therefore they get stabilized more. So by back bonding, before attaining the back bonding stage, they get stabilized by this in comparison with energy. Therefore, you can tell them this is the way they get formed. So 3 B2H6 by banana bonding, and BF3 by back bonding, and Al2Cl6 by dative bonding. All the three comparisons you can do it yourself, and you can explain the children also with the help of this. Order, if you look at it, sigma and pi you already know, and B is in between sigma and pi. So order wise, the strength of this we can compare sigma, banana, and then pi. So finally, when you want to conclude the structure, this is a way. There are 4 hydrogen atoms which are terminal, and 2 hydrogen which are bridged, and the bond length of terminal hydrogen is 119 picometer, and the bridged hydrogen is 131 picometer, and the bond angle is this boron hydrogen the terminal is 120, and this boron bridged hydrogen is 97. So if you draw this and explain, and definitely sure of giving 5 marks to the children. And normally we all explained all the thing whatever I said above based on the proof what we get. One is the theoretical proof, the other one is the experimental proof. In the theoretical proof, the specific heat measurement says absolutely there is no rotation or hindered rotation is there between boron and boron. Free rotation is not possible. Therefore, it proves that bridge-like structure is there. That is something not a normal bond, something else is there. It says. Another one, if you look at it, the experimental proof, when you do methylation, like Friedel-Crafts reaction or all the things what we normally do, alkylation, when you do methylation, it forms, the formula is B2H6, but it forms B2H2Me4. Only 4 hydrogen can easily be substituted, but not the other 2 hydrogen. Therefore, it shows the terminal hydrogen of one type for 4 hydrogen, and the 2 will be little different from the terminal hydrogen that we have proved to be bridged and with the banana type of bonding. I hope you understood a little bit about it. It's not understanding, it is only the sharing of ideas among us as teachers. And if the students, if you look at it, you can understand it better with the explanation of a teacher. Thank you all. I'll meet you with the other concept after some time. Thank you all.